Time to get serious with Mega March.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Mega March. We are continuing our march through all of the designs of Mega Man X in our Oops All X series, and of course, as they say, third time's the charm. I'm taking that one from Coleman. He said it before the recording, but you didn't hear that from me. Once again, I am Twitch from REVO, joined by my good buckaroo buddy,
Coleman X, coming at you.
In today's episode, we're going to be covering the third armor, sometimes also referred to as the Max Armor, and I think the jury's out on what exactly it's supposed to be called, but regardless, it's the third armor in X's series of armors, so I'm just going to try to refer to it as the third armor going forward. Right out the gate, I'm just going to say this armor is the most Gundam-like armor we've seen so far. What do you think, Coleman?
The circle on the chest, like it's a Gundam.
It's a Gundam.
It's a Gundam.
I love that thing. The central chest jam. Oof, that's perfect.
Well, you
Chef's
know,
kiss perfection.
You know, when I was a kid, like I'd played this, didn't know what Gundam was, but I did see Power Rangers Season 2 with the Thunder Megazord. Got the same thing.
Ooh, yes, that is what that reminds me of. Thank you for. I always just thought a singular gem in the chest was just like a design trope of like I guess I would say it would be like Japanese robots, and I guess I'm not entirely wrong. You got the Thunder Megazord, you've got the Max Armor for X here, you've got what is it? Burning Gundam, I believe, has one, and G Gundam, which is what I believe this armor is actually loosely based on.
Yeah, you showed me a side-by-side once, and it blew my mind.
Yeah, I mean, we'll talk about the reasons why later. Right now, let's just talk about the armor, and then we'll get to the not-so-subtle Gundam references. So, the first thing that jumps out to me about this armor very prominently is the awesome vacuum buster. I love this thing. I really love the irregular shape to the buster, how it's not a perfect egg shape. It's kind of like a rounded oval. Like, so from the side, it's still, like an egg. But if you look, it's actually got corners on it. They're rounded corners, but it's got corners nonetheless. And the buster nozzle is like really thick and long, and it's shaped kind of interestingly. Like, it's like a square.
Well,
man, it's just so cool.
The top of the nozzle goes out a little bit further, so it comes down at like a 45-degree angle.
Yeah, that's so cool.
Yeah, it's... I don't know where the idea came from, but it's so unique. I love it.
Yeah, definitely a very unique buster design. I really love it. Just everything about this armor comes together for me. This is like some top tier armor design, in my opinion. And I've only got like one thing that I don't like about it, and it's very minor, and so I just kind of ignore it. But like I said, we'll get there when we get there.
Yeah, I've said before that this is my favorite design. Like, I love it so much. This was the era when I'm a kid and I can't find any of the capsules besides the legs. So I took like construction paper and drew it from the box art and then would just like wear it. I'm like, I'm Mega Man now.
That's really awesome, dude. When I was younger, I basically made like paper dress-up dolls for like X.
Okay.
Where I drew regular X, and then I would draw armor pieces like with tracing paper.
That's a great idea.
And then I would transfer the tracing paper version onto regular paper, and then I would cut out that and then layer it on top of the original drawing so I can like mix and match my own armor pieces. And I used to do that when I was young. I mean, it was kind of sloppy and crappy, but the idea was there.
Oh, I love that.
I used my imagination. It was fun. So yeah, the buster, like as we said, is just super cool, very powerful and unique looking. And I guess the next thing that jumps out to me is definitely that chest. I love that the chest has this big green power gem right in the center, and it just looks so nice, Excellent use of a black stripe going from the top to the bottom, right down the center.
Yes.
Really nice choice. I like the red chesticles, the red chest pattern thingies. It's not quite the lavender ones that X has. Like, remember how we said on X he has like the lavender
Right.
pectorals,
Yes.
and then the second armor has yellow pectorals that are basically the same thing. This one has like red ones, which kind of stick out a little bit, but they're not in the exact same place. They're more up by the shoulders. But it's a nice touch that evokes the same kind of feeling anyway.
Well, it draws your attention to the mid circle, because even the bottom blue parts are pointing up to it, so like it draws your eye in, and it's really cool.
Yes, and that's like the one I was gonna say. That's like the one thing I didn't quite like about this armor is that everything is so. There's not very many points. It has a lot of like squared off edges.
Okay.
And the only points on this armor really exist on just the chest in that one area. And so I would have liked it if those points were maybe blunted, or were like flat or something. That's pretty much it. Because if you look, the orange chest plate parts looks like it almost looks like you can have like a circle on there. And like, so if the blue parts were cut to match that circle, even if it gave them like a blunt edge, I think that would have tied it together really nicely.
Okay, I can see
made
that.
like a. But other than that, that's pretty. Oh, and I guess there is two things I don't like about it, but again, it's very minuscule. I don't like that his pelvis armor thingy, instead of the belt part going down, it goes up. And I imagine that if it went up, he'd have a hard time, like, bending over, because his stomach would be pressing into that.
Right.
I think that is the only misstep, like, the only, like, straight-up thing where I'm like, this wasn't a good idea, comes from. I would have preferred it if it was either flat or dipped back down, like usual. Or actually, I think flat would have been better, just straight across. But that's it. Other than that, I love this. It's a very angular armor, lots of square edges, very good use of like orange, blue, and yellow. The colors just kind of work on this thing. It's just nice. I like the V-fin that he's got going on. It's cool that it's not just one color, it's like two. It's like white, and then it has like a neat little zigzag in there.
Yeah,
and it comes off, and it's
a cool segment.
Yeah, it's just, man, this armor's just so good.
Well, you know what?
I love it.
Back onto that V, I noticed while putting the Kotobukiya kit together, without that front section, it's just the first armor helmet in a different color, and I think that's amazing because again, it's being iterated on. But it's got the same, like head things that go all the way back.
Yeah, I was gonna bring that up. Once again, this armor, like for the X2 second armor, there's no silver except for like on the helmet, and then in this armor, there's even less silver. But he had silver little horns, like little fin thingies, kind of like Zero's helmet that came up off the helmet, which are now replaced with like a more traditional Gundam-esque V-wing or V-fin. But there was also like a silver mohawk looking thing, kind of like a blade. And the X3 armor almost takes that central blade and splits it in two. And now it looks more like the first armor again. So the golden ridges on the first armor combined into a single silver ridge that goes like a mohawk, and then that splits again for the third armor. So it's really interesting how they did that.
Oh, and the black line going down the front, I like how it's also echoed on the back and on the sides, and even on the sides of the underwear. Like,
it's also on the buster.
Yeah, it's on the buster, splitting it in half, and on the legs, if you want to count that. It's really good, like, paneling and segmenting. It's great.
Yeah, it's fantastic work. I really like like I said, it's the square-ish nature of it all that I really like, and that is exemplified, in the buster especially. It's almost like you're seeing square motifs and angles and things like that all over this armor, and then the buster is almost like a culmination of all of those features brought together. And it's just very unique how they do that. I like how there's a yellow thing going over his forehead gem, which is kind of like how in the first armor it was like a black thing, like a little stripe.
Right.
So it's echoing that. It's just really excellent work. So that's why I can believe that these armors are all incremented off of each other. There's a lot more orange. It's not really red. Well, I guess it's red. It's reddish orange. That makes me think of the second armor, like how I said it was very speed based. So it's almost like they're running with that red theme.
Running.
Oh, I didn't even think of that. And as I said all the way back in the first armor, red is almost like a color indicating like danger or like power.
Right.
And so it's very well strategically placed all over this armor. On the end of the buster, on the ends of his wrists for like that band that goes around them, on the knees, on the chest, and on the tips of his feet, making up the sole. Just excellent placement of all these colors, and just good work. I like the shoulder pads too. I like the little bump of yellow that's closer to the chest. It's a very symmetrical, very pleasant to look at armor. It's just very well made. And so I guess it should come as no surprise that because this armor is so well made, they really made a lot of variations of it and a lot of merchandise around it. Funny enough, because X3 didn't sell very well, it was made in very low quantities because it was at the end of the Super Nintendo life cycle. But man, they really milked X3 for all they could when it came to toys and stuff.
Yeah, that's where like the Mega Armor stuff started. I remember seeing that and I'm like, I will never have this, and now I have one.
Yeah, man. The Mega Armor series, for those of you who don't know, is a Bandai model kit series where they basically took various Mega Man characters and armors from the X series and stuff like that, and just turned them into plastic model kits like you would build a Gundam. They were very simplistic. I was able to build them when I was like 11. I'm not sure how old I was when I first got one, but basically, I was very young, and they were very easy to put together. And they come with a pre-made body frame that has like X's internal skeleton parts on it, which is super cool. And you snap the armor around it, which is just awesome. It's just such a neat idea. I felt like I was building Mega Man X, like Dr. Light or something.
Yeah, and you can mix and match. Really cool series.
Yeah, the instructions in their broken English literally encourage you to mix and match the parts. I will never forget the term, use your sense and skill to mix and match the armor parts. That's literally what the instructions say. Sense and skill. But yeah, man, it's just good stuff. It's just really well made. Evokes a lot of power. It looks like a Gundam. It's super cool. It's an often forgotten detail, because all of the artwork really only shows this thing from the front, is that on the back, he has these giant honkin' thrusters. It's hard to see them, because like almost none of the artwork actually shows them, and what you do see is just like a sliver of it. But we'll have to get some pictures of the third armor model kit so you can really see it clearly. But there's these gigantic thrusters in the back, which are just super cool.
Yes.
Just an excellent detail. I did love it. That to me in my head is, like I mentioned in the second armor video, that's how he air dashes, or that's how he dashes upwards, is what I imagined. It doesn't make sense, because he'd probably just, if he were to activate those thrusters while standing vertically in the air, it would just make him backflip like Iron Man, but whatever.
Well, that detail is so hidden when I was putting together the Kodo kit, I'm like, there's thrusters here? Like, what is this?
Yeah.
Like even if I'd seen it, it's not something I really committed to memory, like the obvious parts you see from the front. So that was a really nice surprise.
Yeah, it's a cool detail, which, like as I said, almost all of this artwork does not show it. It doesn't really show it off at all. Even like some of the newer artwork that was made for the model kit and for X-Dive, a lot of it is very obscured by the front. You don't really see it. The one where you can see it the most is this one obscure piece of artwork from, I think, like a magazine, where X is dashing upwards.
Yeah.
And the thrusters are shrunken down significantly for this image, because they are much bigger, actually. But that's like the only place you could really see them, which is a shame. They really should have shown a picture of him like from the back, like looking over his shoulder.
Yeah. Just
to show it off, because they're a very stylish detail on this figure.
Quick side note, I like that these magazine or strategy guide, whatever this was, and it's like in the X1, X2 art style, but with the X3 armor, I kind of love that a lot.
Yeah, it looks very nice. Whoever did this, it's really good. Like, if you look at the, this is around the time they started doing this, but for like Mega Mission and stuff like that, they had someone else do the artwork for all those that wasn't in line with the official game art.
Mm-hmm.
But it was still good looking. It looked like it was in like the X1, X2 art style. And so I'm glad they got them to do the Mega Mission artwork, because now we get to see these newer characters in an older art style, and it's really like kind of nice to see them in those old school proportions.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, just good stuff all overall.
Another thing, we touched on it last time, is that he's got 5 barrels on his Buster.
Yes,
Because he shoots 5 shots.
Mm-hmm.
But one thing that I've seen some debate on, if you look at the magazine shot of him doing the charge shot,
Mm-hmm.
the top 2 barrels are like covered, and I've seen some other like art or merchandise that does that. So
Yes.
it's weird because it's just like 2 barrels that don't do anything. But now in all modern art, they're just barrels like the bottom. So I don't know if that was intentional or what the story
Are
is,
they?
but
I could have sworn, and what's funny is, I think I saw a Japanese artist who, I think they were like a Capcom employee,
mm-hmm.
Who looked at it and they were like, wait, those aren't barrels? Like, even they just
Yes,
assumed.
yeah, I know what
they
you're
were
talking
barrels.
about. That's what got me looking at it. But
And
now,
yeah, I think in older artwork, if you look at it, it is just flat, and they were like, wait a second, they're flat? Like, I thought they were, you know...
right. But now, in like Dive especially, you can see it perfectly. You know, they're barrels.
It's a deep log error.
I mean, I prefer it like that because it makes more sense. Because like, why did the
I
other ones
agree.
close?
Yeah, exactly. You know what? Even in the painted poster with Bad Box Art Zero on it, if you look at the barrel for X3,
Mm-hmm.
for I don't know why, but for whatever reason they added like a weird hose thing that connects to the Buster.
It holds it in place.
Yeah, you know, it's a Buster bracket. That's just what it
There
is.
we go.
If you look at the top thingies, they're square, which matches the artwork, and the ones at the bottom are like more rounded triangles. But the ones on top are open, as if they do fire something.
Right. Maybe there's a door or something.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe they open up when you're gonna shoot. I don't know.
Well, you know what?
Something to that effect.
Since we're on the box art, this seems like a good time to talk about the minor coloring difference from the English version. Like, I kind of like gray on the light blue areas.
I didn't even notice that. You're so right.
It looks pretty nice. Because
it does look nice.
the third armor has a ton of colorings. So we're gonna cover all of them. Don't you worry.
Yes.
But yeah, this is the first one we're gonna hit, and it looks neat. It looks different.
Mm-hmm.
Because then when I saw the actual official art, I'm like, this looks weird, and I can't place why, but it's because that color difference.
Yeah, I actually do think the black breaks up the white coloring on the armor a lot, and I think I do prefer that color now that you've pointed it out to me on the cover art.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good point. I actually never even noticed it until you mentioned it, and it bugs me. You know, while we're talking about things that are going to bug you since you've never noticed it before, can I please talk about how in this artwork of Mega Man X doing his look at my body pose, if you would draw your attention down to his feet, is he standing on a hill or something? He's like, he's kind of tilted, and I don't know why. Like, if you look at his body up to, like, his knees, he looks vertical, and he's doing, like, a nice standing hero pose. But then if you look at his feet, he's, like, at an angle. So I've already taken the liberty of taking this art and just kind of going, ee, and just moving it a little bit. And here's what they look like side by side, with his feet corrected. And yeah, X has bad posture.
Oh my god, he is my spirit animal.
X has bad posture, therefore he's your spirit animal.
Basically.
That's all I wanted to do. You guys can enjoy that. That image will live rent-free in your mind forever now. The fact that X has bad posture if you actually straighten his feet out. I don't know where this picture is featured anywhere else than the American box art, but his big old look at my body pose is he's standing on a hill or something. It's really weird.
Yep. So this armor goes gold. Let's
But
will
will it go platinum?
We'll see. But yeah, let's get into that. We've got more recolors than you might think to go through.
Yes. Now that we've covered like the primary body features, yeah, let's just go through the colorings.
Yep. So we got the gold armor. You get it from the capsule.
Mm-hmm.
There's a couple different interpretations of it. On the model kit, it is closer to the game sprite coloring, but in Dive, it is its own beast. Like the stripes on the legs turn red instead of gold. Same on the shoulders. I think those are the only differences. But yeah, there's a cool gold armor. I think it works really well for this design. It looks neat.
There's also a variation. I'm sorry. You know what? You go ahead, and I just wanted to comment on the gold armor colorings.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I think we might have been going to the same spot there, because on the Mega Armor gold armor kit,
Yes.
the inner parts were black, and the hand was white, and that breaks up the colors just enough for it to look excellent.
Yes, that's exactly what I was going to mention. In that, the gold armor color for the model kit, it's just very gold, like super gold, like it's just gold everywhere.
Yeah.
But the model kit breaks up the gold a bit by giving him some black coloring on the limbs, and has the white glove, and I just think that looks perfect. I think that is probably my favorite version of what it looks like, and I feel like the reason why they and I'll tell you exactly why they did this. The reason why the body is black and the hand is white is because the frame that they used is the one they used for Zero.
Yep.
And Zero has black limbs with white gloves, and so rather than print a whole new body frame that has, you know, yellow limbs and a yellow glove, they were just like, let's just use Zero. It looks cool.
Yeah, laziness has saved us.
I guess the head is different.
Yeah.
That's it, because the head has X's face on.
But they already had a bucket full, and I just popped it on. But
Yeah.
I have one gripe with it, and that is that the bottom red stripe remains yellow. On the bottom of the foot.
Yeah.
That
should be red.
Yeah, that's my only gripe with it.
Because all the other variations of the armor have that red stripe. I think you're right. That really should be the correct color. I wonder if they just forgot or like didn't think of it.
I don't know.
But I think that also would break it up a little bit. So that's my, like, as you mentioned, that is my ideal version of this armor, is that coloring.
It's really nice.
Yeah. X needs more black limbs. He looks good in those.
It looks really good.
Yeah.
But we've got some more stuff. In one of the betas for X3, if you get the enhancement chips, each one changes the white on the armor to be a different color. I don't know if, I mean, I'm sure it was just like placeholders, so if they're going around debug stuff, they can quickly know which one they have active. The head chip turns the armor green, and I think that's one of the better looking ones.
Yeah, it looks cool with green.
But one really cool thing about it, if you've played the beta, is it keeps that color even when you change weapons. So you can do some really interesting combinations, but you can also do some really horrific looking ones. Like, I think that's why in the final game, the gold armor, when you switch weapons, it just goes away. You're back to normal colors, just so it can blend better. But
yeah, gold does not go good with everything.
Right. And speaking of gold, we're getting a little bit more subtle with the body chip because it's like a yellow color, and I like that one. That
one's pretty okay.
It looks nice. It goes with the lighter blue, I think, pretty decently.
Yeah, it reminds me a bit of like a reverse Straka Nice.
Yeah, you know what? That's exactly right.
Yeah, that's what it makes me think of. Like a nice powdery blue or pastel yellow, pastel blue, but instead of the limbs being yellow, they're blue now, and like basically the colors are reversed.
Mm-hmm. And the arm chip gives us this red color. Like it's darker than the rest of the red orange. It's more of a red going into purple.
It looks like Magma Dragoon red almost.
There we
almost
go.
like maroon.
Yeah, I was gonna say maroon, but I wasn't confident in it. But this one's like the loudest one, I think.
Which is appropriate for like a Buster chip.
Yeah, absolutely.
It like almost screams power.
Yeah.
You know, like the head chip is green, which I don't know what that could mean. I don't know, energy. The yellow one, that's the body one, correct?
Yes.
So maybe it's like yellow for like defense or something. It makes me think of like the ground style from Mega Man Battle Network, where he gets very beefy and like yellow and black and stuff.
Okay.
And of course red is like power. So it makes me think of that.
Well, leg chip is blue. It's like a very soft blue.
It's almost like if Mega Man kept his default color scheme in an armor.
Yeah. It looks
like that.
It looks all right.
Yeah. Blue for speed, you know, power and speed, like the speed gears.
There we go.
And the double gear, I should say.
There we go. We've solved the mystery.
Crack
But then
the code.
if you get the ultimate armor, or the ultimate armor, the gold armor chip, people have called this like a beta ultimate armor, just based on how the colors go together.
That's
And
my theory.
the first time I saw it, you know, it was a photograph off of a CRT, and it looked a lot better than when I actually played the game with it. But because I think if the light blue parts were gray, it would look like perfect.
Yeah, or if you wanted, make the light blue parts purple, and then it'd really look like an ultimate armor.
Oh, you're smart. That's why you get paid the big bucks.
Occasionally, anyway. Yeah, the black armor, I don't know why they chose black for their hyper chip version, which gives you the head, body, feet, and arm chip power-ups all at once. Before they had gold, I guess they were tinkering with black. Now, the black may very well just be a placeholder before they went with the gold version. But I like it. I think the black, as we've stated, is almost like a beta ultimate armor, which is basically what the hyper chip is anyway. It's one capsule that gives you the power of all the other capsules all at once with no drawbacks. Super awesome power fantasy, basically. So I really love the black coloring on it. I just think it's such a unique look to see X in like a black version of his armor rather than like, you know, Gundam colors.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a good idea. I don't know, it looks cool.
Yeah. Well, you know what? This time, since we have so many different ones, besides vanilla, which one's your favorite out of all these?
Besides the vanilla color, like you said, that green one is very attractive. I like that. I think I like the red one.
We're including the gold ones too. All the variations except for vanilla.
Okay, so the ones that jump to mind for me that I really like is the red one for power. I really like the black beta ultimate armor color, and I like the model kit gold armor. Those are like my three favorites. I can't pick like one. Hard for me to land on any one particular one that beats the default colors, because I do really love the default colors. But if I had to pick out of the alternates, it's definitely the red, black, and model kit gold. Those are my favorites.
Okay. Well, I think I'm gonna say model kit gold is just like my favorite. I love the black innards so much. But yeah, the black armor, especially if it had purple on the inside, I really want to see an edit of that, because I think that would look just excellent. So yeah, probably those two. Like I said, some of them look really good with special weapons. So if that was included, you know, we'd have a completely different list. But we don't have time for that.
Yeah, that's a bit much to get through. What is that? Like 8 different weapons for how many versions of this armor?
Right.
For
5 versions of it.
Yeah, it's gonna take forever. So let's not.
Yeah. But yeah, at home or at bathroom, wherever you are watching this, which one of the third armor coloring is your favorite? You know, I don't think there's any wrong answers because none of them look bad.
Yeah, none of them look bad. They all look cool because this is just a good armor.
It's a solid
total.
Solid foundation.
Yeah, exactly. Just a good foundation, good colors. The whole thing is excellent. You really can't go wrong no matter which one you pick.
Yep. So,
yeah,
let us
know. Or, no lettuce. Whatever you prefer.
Boo!
Shut up. You had a dumb one before in the second armor video.
It's
so.
true.
Eels. I'm sorry. You guys weren't around for the pre-recording when that was hilarious. But anyway, yeah, comment down below. Which one is your favorite? What is your favorite ability of the third armor? Ooh. What is your favorite aspect of it overall? Do you think the hyper chip is a cool idea? Do you have any other things that you would do to improve? Things that you don't like? Let us know down below, and we will see you when we tackle the fourth armor.
Goodbye, everybody.
Take care.